Hi, I'm Maura Gamble from Our Permaculture Life, and this is the second part of a three-part series about calendula. The first part I was talking about the plant itself, and in this part I wanted to show you actually how to take the flowers and turn it into a calendula oil. Now this oil is something that you can use straight as a face oil, because it infuses the properties of the calendula into the oil over the time that we allow it to settle. And the other thing that you can do is actually make some beautiful salves for home, which is a beautiful first aid salve. And I'll talk about that in the next film that we'll make. But first, I just wanted to show you two extremely simple ways of making the oil. One of the ways is taking the flowers and drying them. So over the last few days, I had collected some of the flowers and allowed them just to dry not in the sun, just in some dappled light, and allowed them just to dry off like this so that they're not so moist anymore. And then what we can do is we can fill up our jar with these dried flowers. If you wanted to, you can just put the petals, but it doesn't matter that it's got all the stems still on it like that. So I could keep filling up this jar as much as I had, and then I use olive oil because it's edible. Because the oil that I make, I like to either be able to use on my face, but also in a salad dressing. And so that way, by using, this is an organic olive oil, it's actually just made down the road, not far from here. And so I really like to use this one. It's an organic, local one. So what we need to do is to cover these petals here with the oil. So I'll just gently pour that in until they're completely covered. Now I'm going to put the lid on that and just shake it around a bit to make sure they're fully covered, and they'll settle down a bit. Now if they're not covered, it could oxidize a bit, so that's why I make sure I fill it right up. Now all I need to do with this is to put it up on the shelf and leave it for 28 days, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks. I generally leave it for about 4 weeks, and then you simply drain off the flowers and keep the oil, and it's that simple. So that's method number one. So the second simple way of making this oil, and again it's a cold infused method that needs about that 4 to 6 weeks, is just simply taking the flowers and putting them straight in the oil without drying them at all. So I can collect some of these ones that I have, pop them straight in the jar, and I'll get as many as I can. And actually the more that I snip these off today, there's going to be more tomorrow. So if I haven't quite filled up my jar, I can come back tomorrow and keep adding in until it's completely and absolutely full. Now the thing is that I really want to make sure to only get the high quality flowers. So there's some that look like they're a little bit past it. So for example, this one, it just looks like it's a little bit far gone, and so I won't add that into it. If I haven't got enough for my jar that I want to fill, like I said, I'll just add in more tomorrow, and that's perfectly okay. So I think that's enough for now. I'm going to get some more coming on. There's lots of little buds all over it, so hopefully in the next few days we'll get more. Now, all I do again is just cover it over with some beautiful fresh olive oil right to the top. Put the lid on, it's nice to seal. Make sure that if you have a new jar that you wash it out really carefully, because sometimes new jars come with some kind of like coating on them. And if you are washing a jar that you recycling as well, make sure that you fully dry it, because we don't want any water in it. The water in it could actually turn it foul. So we want to make sure that it's just the oil and just the flowers, and so that's it. So we'll just leave that for 4 weeks up on the shelf, and I will put a label on it too to make sure that I remember when it was that I actually did that. So like you can see here, this is a calendula oil that's been drained off, and this one here I made back in June 2017, and I really think it's a good idea to make sure if you are making your own products to put your dates, because it's really easy to forget after a couple of weeks to do that. So these are the cold infused methods of making oils from flowers of calendula, and it's a fabulous product. Once you have it, Like I said before, just in summary, you can use it as a face oil. It's a very, very good skin healing oil. You can add it into a salad dressing as a flower infused salad dressing, and also you can then make it into salves, which is what I'm going to show you in the next film. So thanks for joining me. It's Morag Gamble, Our Permaculture Life. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to join me on Patreon too. See you next time.